What's up everybody, Alex here, and since I've already shared two videos covering some of the footage that I got from my X5 and my X5 dive case on the two dives that I did while I was in Barbados recently, I thought it would be helpful to include kind of a tutorial video going over how to install the dive case, how to make sure that it's sealed correctly, how to control the camera once it's in the dive case and in dive case mode. Since the functionality changes once the case is on, you're no longer able to use the touch screen nor the buttons below the touch screen. You're only able to use these two buttons on the side. So I'll go over kind of some steps for setup and how to control the camera and how to ensure that to get good footage and good photos once you're underwater. Let's go ahead and jump into that. All right, guys, so let's quickly go over how to use the dive case, how to install it, how to operate it underwater. So I've got the dive case itself. I've got the cool pouch that it comes with, which is a really nice addition. So it just slides in. Once it's in, the selfie stick can come right out the bottom there. This latch is shut over the top. It's got this little thing right here so that you can attach it to your BCD. I added this just for added security, just peace of mind knowing I'm not going to lose it once I'm down underwater. I've got the camera itself. I've got the anti-fog inserts, which are really important, and we'll talk about those a little bit more in a second. And of course, the invisible selfie stick. All right, so let's go over the camera first, what you need to do before you even put it in the case. So we'll power it on. Okay, once it's powered on, put it in dive case mode, you'll click this bottom Q button here. So if you click and hold it, a little button here at the top. Well, you can see that. So it automatically goes into dive case mode. Once it's in dive case mode, you can only use these two buttons to operate the camera. Since it's in the case, you can no longer use the touch screen or these two buttons at the bottom, excuse me. So the way you do that is you power it on the same way, click and hold the power button. Once it's on, if you click the power button once, it'll essentially let you switch between all of your modes. So whether or not you want to take a picture or a video, and then once you select picture or video or something like that, you can double click the Q button here at the bottom to switch between different video views or photo views. So right now I'm in 360 video mode using the front camera. If I double click, now I'm the rear camera, single lens mode. Single lens front camera, back to 360 mode, but using the rear camera, and back to the front camera, 360 mode. And that operates the same way for photo and video. Okay. All right. So let's go over the installation into the case. So with the case, so there's four little latches here. Two at the top, two at the bottom. We'll want to undo those. Just hinges open. When you put the camera in, you want to make sure that the buttons are aligned with the buttons on the case, or else it's not going to work. You want to put your anti-fog strips in first. So these help prevent fogging on the inside of the case. These are really important. You would hate to get underwater and take some really cool footage of something just to find out that you can't see it because your case fogged up. So once those are inserted into the little insert spaces there, that you can take your camera, again, check the buttons, make sure it's aligned. It hinges shut. Make sure that all four latches are securely latched. Okay, then you're good to go. I generally power it on just to make sure. Okay, looks like we're good. And then I'll test out the buttons. So the bottom Q button, remember, will switch between lenses and between single lens mode and 360 mode. Looks like everything's working. Use this button to switch between video, photo, whatever mode you want to use. All right, so we're good to go. The other really cool feature is if you have your camera powered off underwater and you see something and you want to take a picture or video really, really quickly, you can just click and hold the bottom button. It'll automatically start shooting either pictures or video, whatever mode you left it on when you powered it off. That's what it'll default to. So that's a really nice feature. I use that a lot on these dives, actually. All right, so once your case is on, all the latches are secure. You'll take the selfie stick and screw it right into the bottom, just like you would the camera. Once that's on, you'll want to make sure that it's perfectly aligned and centered below the camera. Looks pretty good. Right? If this is off either way, as most of you know, it's going to ruin your 360. It's going to defeat the purpose of the invisible selfie stick. You'll be able to see the stick. So you just want to ensure that it's directly below the camera's line of sight. So once you're all done with your dive, you're good to take the camera out. To take it out of dive case mode is really simple. You'll just power it on. All you have to do is just swipe up and dive case mode disabled. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's pretty intuitive. Once you learn which buttons do what, I had no problem operating it underwater. It worked perfectly fine. All right, guys, hopefully you found that helpful. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about the X5 and the X5 dive case. If so, hit like, share, subscribe. If there's any other topics you want me to cover with regards to the X5 or the X5 dive case, let me know. I'll see what I can do. I'll do my best. But other than that, that's all I got for you. Until next time.